Bye-bye suburbs. Hello, Homestead. Welcome to our home sweet homestead. Hi guys, welcome back to Home Sweet Homestead. Now that we've made the long trip and moved to West Virginia, it's time to get down to business and find a house. So let's take a break from all the fishing and get started. We have 3 houses that we're choosing from. They were all very different. So let's get started and see what we have to choose from. Okay, so let's go over what we're looking for real quick. We want a homestead, so we need land. Probably around 5 acres, at least 4 bedrooms, and no HOA. Hopefully we can find what we want in our budget because we're staying with family right now and we need a house like yesterday. So let's get started with the first house. So the first house we saw was 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,048 square foot, and a little over 7 acres. So the inside was nice and it had enough acreage, but there was one major issue. It was on the side of a mountain, literally. On the way up to this house, we drove past the Grand Canyon on a small, narrow mountain road, and the driveway up to the house was just as bad. The kids were terrified, and I almost got stuck going up the driveway in my van. The pictures definitely didn't show the severity of the road conditions, so this house was a big, fat no. So house number 2, I was really excited to see. It was 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,152 square foot, and 33 acres. So the house was huge and there was plenty of land. So when we got to the house, it had a very steep, small driveway, which was a little concerning. And when we walked inside, it was very obvious that this house had a lot of work that needed to be done. And we don't mind fixing stuff up in the house, but it seemed like everywhere that we looked, something needed to be replaced. It was obvious that this house would be a complete renovation. It was a really neat house, and I believe after fixing it up, it would have been a beautiful house. But the amount of time and work and money would have been overwhelming to us. Honestly, I didn't get a good vibe off the house, and that's usually something that you need to listen to. The kitchen was also really tiny, and I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. The stoves and cabinets needed replaced too. There was also hundreds of dead bugs and live bugs throughout the house. I think it was a little creepy inside too, like it could be haunted, especially in the basement. It had a huge leak of some sort in the basement, and a lot of water was entering the basement somehow. So that could also be a really costly repair. Here you can really see the severity of the bug infestation. They were just everywhere.
Look at all the ladybugs.
What?
Look at all the ceiling.
The amount of property that came with the house was about the only thing I liked about it. But there was a gas line that also ran through the field where we would have all the farm animals graze, and the pipes were exposed and weren't covered. So the lines being damaged by mowing or a horse was a concern. The house was at the top of our budget, so the amount of money to renovate the entire house would probably bankrupt us. So with all the concerns on this property, it just wasn't worth it. So it was on to the last house, and hopefully we have better luck. So we finally arrived at our final house. It was 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, and it was on 2.56 acres. This one was located 5 minutes from my husband's new job. It had a really great location. It was also plenty big, and we couldn't believe it had 5 bedrooms. It also had a 1-car garage and a carport. The acreage was a lot less than we had hoped for, but it was all usable land, so we may be able to work with this. It also had 2 large decks, which I absolutely loved. Once we went inside, it was clear the entire thing had been renovated. New floors, fans, light fixtures, appliances, everything. The kitchen was so amazing. It had so many storage cabinets and so much counter space. The house was move-in ready, which would mean we wouldn't have to spend money to fix up the house. We can concentrate on working outside and getting everything started out there. So compared to the last house, this house felt less stressful in terms of money and work to be done. The only thing that we would have to sacrifice was not having a huge amount of land. But looking at the land, I think I can make a homestead out of this 2.5 acres. It would take a lot to clear, but I think we were up to the challenge. If we were going to make this work, then we're going to have to use every bit of the 2.5 acres for our homestead. Just by looking at it, I think it has a lot of potential. The master bath was really nice too. I really liked the tub. I think we may have found our home sweet homestead. It has what we needed and some things that were bonuses. It was a great location, close to my husband's job, had 5 bedroom, was move-in ready, and was under our budget. We could always purchase more land close by in the future if we wanted to also. So I think this was the one. What do you all think? Do you think we picked the right one? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed looking for our home sweet homestead with us, and don't forget to like this video. It'll help our channel out. Also, don't forget to subscribe now that we found our homestead property. The adventure is just beginning. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. We can't wait to get started. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.